Okay, good morning, character champions. How are you today? Hope you are doing well and bouncing despite the whole back and forth in the country. I think we are beginning to get it right from different angles, but then a lot needs to be done around leadership, leadership, and leadership starts with us. Then we can lead other people. As we continue to believe God for better leaders in terms of politicians and civil servants, top ranking civil servants who make better decisions for our country. Let's continue where we are to make a difference. Let's keep walking around ourselves and those around our community members, everyone who needs to listen to us, to say, oh, we need to do things better. So this is all we do here in the character room. We try as much as possible to groom character champions who would go out there and say, let's do things right. Yes, it's not going to be easy, but we can always try. We can make amends. We can explore. And when we make mistakes, we go back to square one and say, okay, how can I do it better? So today is Character Champion Spotlight. So Character Champion Spotlight, for those joining us for the first time, is when we have one of us share insights, whatever he or she had learned over the years, or maybe based on his or her experience, and in line with the topic of the month, or the theme of the month, or topic of the week. So if you're here and you have something to share with us, if you're just joining us, please, there's opportunity for you to do so. It's not only Flora that shares insight or teaches here. I'm only here to facilitate the sessions. That's why I call myself the convener. Convener is just somebody who brings people together, and then every other person has something to contribute to the good of the nation through the character room. So if you have something to share with us, in line with character and building an ethical system or ethical society, please reach out to us, Agnes or myself, and we can walk around that. There is always time for you to come here and share. And that makes us a more thriving community instead of just one person coming here to talk every day and others contributing. Pick a day and come and share. I remember when we started this spotlight, there were loads of people, one or two persons who, they were afraid to talk in public, but just starting small with little, like 222 persons here or 30 persons. Before you know it, you can have all the energy and the boldness and the confidence to go talk to 50 people, 100 people, 1,000 people. It's still the same way. No matter how many people you have in the room, you find a way to speak to them. So today we have Nkechi Ugbo. She is an education consultant. And a little bit about her. She is a passionate educator and education consultant with over 13 years of experience in classroom teaching, school management, curriculum development, online tutoring, locally and internationally. She's a dollar babe. I just like this international part, as it means that there is dollar somewhere to be shared. So maybe if you answer questions or ask questions during her session, you might send you $1 or $2. That's how we roll. Educational content creator and proofreading and editing. She holds a BA in English. We are in trouble today, please. So few people. Now, wow. And a postgraduate diploma in education from the University of Lagos. Over the years, Nkechi has collaborated with schools, parents, and educators to enhance teaching quality, learning outcomes, and institutional systems through expert guidance in curriculum design, teacher training, and inclusive learner-centered approaches. Guided by her philosophy, no learner should be left behind. She remains committed to lifelong learning and to empowering others in the education sector, continuously exploring innovative strategies that drive meaningful educational impact. And today she will be sharing with us on the topic of building systems that reward integrity. Building systems that reward integrity. When we are asking people to change their behavior, when we are grooming ethical people, people driven by character, we are also going to create systems to retain these people. Sometimes, if care is not taken, the system will make them go back to becoming unethical. But that's in quotes. I said this in quotes. But it's important to always build systems that help people lead ethical behavior. And so I'll leave the floor for our character champion, Nkechi Ugbo. Please, can we use our best emojis to say hello to her and welcome her?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. And it's
Thank God, the first time we are seeing her face is well.
don't mind me. Apologies. I think I just like to listen more when people are talking. So as often as I attend the sessions, I just listen just to glean as much from people. And it's a delight to be here. Um, Even when I listen to my bio, like, is that me? But it's really nice to be here, and I want to thank you, Madam Flora and Agnes, for this opportunity. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come share something that is very, very passionate to me as an educator. But I wanted to add two things that are also very, very close to me that are not in my bio. One is that I'm a homeschooling mom. Yes, I'm homeschooling my children. Two is I have a growing community. That's what I'm going to call it, a growing community of boy moms, and the goal and the intention is to be a female voice for the boy child. From my experience as an educator and as a parent, I see that the boy child is neglected. No, nobody's speaking for them. And there are a lot of examples. First is the International Day of the Boy Child is not even recognized by any international organization. I mean, what's it called? UNICEF, UN, WHO, it's not internationally recognized. The International Day of the Boy Child and the International Men's Day, it's not recognized. So that's to tell us how neglected the male folks are. So for me, I want to be a female voice for the boy child, for men. Everybody talks about women. Yes, we talk about women, talk about girls, those campaigns are there. And anything you put out there for a woman, it sells off, it actually sells off. But I'm trying to bring the balance to it. Like, let's talk about the boy child. Let's talk about them, how to raise them, how to nurture them. Wholesome boys, wholesome men. So those are two things
Finally. Oh, Jesus.
okay. So those are two things that I am passionate about that are not in my bio. um so once again, I'll say thank you very much for the opportunity. So speaking of today's topic, which is systems that reward integrity, it's it's a necessary conversation in this day and time. It's very, very necessary because from my experience, I see that parents, yes, parents are Parents are the wheel, they are the driving force behind a lot of things. And I'm speaking from my journey as an educator. If you're finding if we see that things that we have a lot of things and are not that do not have integrity in the educational system, it's because there's a parent somewhere who is engineering it. This is from my experience, and please, you're allowed to differ. There's a parent somewhere engineering, there's a parent somewhere pushing the school owner that no, my children cannot fail, so they can't you can't award them such marks. There's a parent somewhere telling school owners. I'll share my experiences. There's a parent somewhere um many years ago, a very very popular school in Lagos. If I mention the school, we would definitely know the school, but I'm not going to mention the name of the school. Some parents came together and told the school administrator that we need you to increase the school fees because we want to tell, they saw it as a bragging rights. Like, we want to tell, they don't like the fact that their children were paying these amounts of school fees. This school that I'm talking about, it's a very, very big school. At that time, the school fees was very expensive, but it wasn't expensive enough for them. They needed more bragging rights. No, my child pays a particular amount, for school fees. So they came together, the school administrator, to say, why this is the amount why not increase the amount so that we can say this is the
Hello,
amount you
hello,
pay.
hello, hello, Ruth. Can you mute your phone so that we don't have interruptions? Please, can you mute your phone,
Can you hear
Ruth, so that we can hear from Nkechi presenting? Thank you.
Nkechi, go ahead. Please unmute yourself. I had to mute everyone because of Roots. Please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So that was what some of these parents did. They did that just to say. They did that just to say, we want to say that our children are paying a particular amount for school fees. Like, there's definitely no integrity in that, and it was just for show off. Like, how can you, just for the purpose of bragging? Now that's one experience. So that's why I'm saying that from my experience, schools are saying, either engaging in examination malpractices, so that no learner, fails, is because parents have come to, put fire in their bum to say, my child must not fail, or whatever it is you need to do, my child must pass. And they don't want to fulfill their own part of helping their children learn. Um, another example that comes to mind is and this I find that I think that because parents are the paying customers for school owners, so that's why school owners most times bend to their whims and caprices. They have to do everything they want. um that's not how it ought to be. I know that even if they are the paying participants, school owners should actually have a say. Having a system in place, having a structure in place whereby you say these are our core values, these are our principles, these are the things we do. If you're going to be a parent in this school, you must be ready to abide by these rules. But you find that because it's very very competitive right now to own a school, and everybody wants to make profit, wants as many parents, as many children, so they bend the rules a lot without having core principles, core values, or structure to put in place. And these things, the lack of structure, the lack of system, is trickling down, and it's affecting the children, the quality of children. It's affecting the quality of children that we have in this dispensation. We are having children who, you can't children you can't correct. Every parent now, nobody wants to hear anything. Their child is perfect. Nobody wants to hear anything negative. You can't even listen objectively to, okay, if they say your child is, just listen objectively, and can go and make your findings. And because children are different at home and at school. Oh, what they exhibit at home or what they exhibit at school, two different things. Very, 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 very different things. They at home you think your child is this, but in school they're total different. They are totally different. But most times parents are not. They don't have that open mind to listen objectively, and okay, let me listen and see how. It's a collaboration. You should you collaborate with your child's school, their teacher, to bring out the best in your child. Um, this very example, that should be 3 years ago. Yes, I think 3 years ago. While I was a school administrator, in a particular class, a teacher dropped her bag. She dropped her bag, and she went to. I think she stepped out. She stepped out. It was almost time for assembly, so she came down. By the time she went back, money was missing from her bag. So we started the hunt for who took the money. From questioning around in the class, from questioning the children, only some persons came into the classroom. But we had to ask every child, question them, and trying to find out who took the money, who took what happened, and all of that. These children, some children, not that I can't say, like I won't say all, some children went home and related the experience to their parents. I don't know how, I honestly, but the reports that came back, you would have thought that maybe we accused the children of stealing. It was just a questioning session just to find out. And theft is a big thing. For me, it's really a big thing. If we can no longer safely drop bags in the classroom, if you have a child who starts to steal from, it's not a good sign at all. It's something that should be frowned at, as in something that you should, you know, pursue, as in try to find out if your child is doing it or not with whatever it is you have to use. But the reverse was the case. These children, by next morning, I'm getting a call from the director of the school, did you accuse this student of stealing? I'm like, accuse who of stealing? No. Money was missing from the class, and we went, asked the children questions just to find out how. No, the children said you accused them of stealing. Accused who? Now, these children it should either be grade 4 or grade 5. So that tells us that they're a bit knowledgeable. I'm like, I didn't accuse anybody of stealing. I only asked questions around just to find out how money went missing from a teacher's purse, from a teacher's bag. Like how? So that was it. It was really, really a bringing down the roof kind of thing. And there was no even, don't mention the director didn't even mention, okay, the teacher's money was stolen. It wasn't even from a point of, this is serious, let's find out. It was from a point of accusing, like there was theft in the classroom. Like for me, I was trying to, like, there was theft in the classroom. And if my child was in the class that they stole, I don't know, but it's something I'm going to take serious, and not, I'm not going to look at, I'm going to quiz my child very well. Okay, what are you going to do as the school? And not from this angle that they took it from. And no, there was no mention of, they took your money. The money was over 1,500 naira. There was no mention of they took your money to the teacher. There was no mention, okay, we're going to refund you. There was nothing like that. Everything just came down to, you accused the children, you did this. I'm like, that's not what we did anyways. But that was how the case died down. And that was the end of it. No mention, nothing. So I think it's the shortest school I've actually done. That was the shortest school I've stayed, 9 months, because their values definitely didn't align. I couldn't stay there because I'm like, okay, there's no growth here. I can't. There was no structure, obviously, very, very obvious. And attempts to help build structure wasn't working. There's no need staying here. Earning the money might be good, but I don't think it doesn't align with my values as an educator. I want to make impact. So I think after 9 months, I just gave my resignation and left. But we had several issues. Another issue I can remember very, very well was a parent also came. A parent called, called the school now and said, that they beat her son. That they beat her son with a board ruler. If we know the board ruler, this very thick ruler. So they beat her son. The next morning, very early. Okay, it was at night I got the message. So I had to find a way to get to the school very early in the morning so I could, hear the parents' perspective. For me, I like to hear both persons' side of the story. I don't like to come to conclusions. So I, try to get there very, very early and meet with the parents before while they were dropping their child. I saw her. I said, no, that's not what she said. I don't even know how she told the school now, anyways. Like, no, that's not what she said. Then she explained that it was time to pick her children. She peeped from the window and saw the teacher holding the board ruler. She didn't see the teacher hitting her son, no. But the only thing she saw was she saw the teacher holding the board ruler. Then she saw the son, with a frowning face, and I think she just assumed, okay, ma, I've heard your story. I called the teacher. This person said this. He said, no, that, so she has a trick that she uses on those learners. I don't know how those children believe. So when you're about to answer a question, she tells you that she won't take you to London next week. And those children literally believe her. I won't take you to London next week. So that was what she told the boy. And the boy was, keeping the very, very a sad face and like, my teacher is not taking me to London. She's not taking me to US next week. So that's what she tells them for them to answer questions. And that was what the parents saw and thought that the child was beaten. Before then, when the school owner was they were giving me the feedback and what to do, they had told me the measures to take on the teacher. She has to go on one day. She has to, what's this thing? Yeah, when you go, you don't come to work and they don't pay you. They have put out the measures. They didn't even want to know whether it was true or not. But I told them, I've heard you, but I'm going to find out first. Now, these examples, they are tales, but as little as they seem, they are the kinds of experiences we're beginning to face in the school system. Then we have cases of examination malpractices too, where parents are, don't want their children to fail. They don't want their child to not, they must pass by all means. So that's the reality of what our education system is right now. I know that then when I went to school, we used to have a moral instruction, and we learned moral instruction, what characters, and things we needed to imbibe. There were things like that. I have a teacher from my primary school that I talked about recently online, Mr. DK. That man is so astute, he had character. Like you can literally, he wasn't the only one who taught me in primary school, but for some reason, he's the only one that has stayed here. And I will forever remember him. And because of how he stood out in how he displayed in the classroom, he had character. Mr. DK would not collect money from parents on open day. No, he won't do that. He will tell you he's doing his job, and he was doing his job. No learner was left behind. He explained, I don't even know if it's because of him, I studied English, but he explained concepts in a very, very practical way. Another thing, you don't tell him lies. I don't know how he knows that you're telling lies, but Mr. DK knows. And when you tell lies, you will go for it. There were measures in place, so you dare not. It was a rule in the class, and we don't find such, how some characters precede a person. That was Mr. DK. We don't find that anymore, where the person's character aura precedes them. You see those things before you see the person. It's really, really very, 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 very watered right now. That very, very hard to tell. So to really teach character now, we have to go the extra mile. We really have to go the extra mile. We have to be intentional. We have to put systems in place. We have to put structure in place to know, as a parent. And I'm saying as a parent because if we leave everything to schools, I think schools are already overflowed. everyone that has an idea wants to test it out on a school. I think schools are overflowed. I think schools have a lot that they are doing already. Adding. I'm not saying they can't add character to it. I'm not saying they can't add character to it, but there's a lot going on in schools already. There's a lot going on in schools already. So if parents should also do their part where it's your job to teach your child character. Besides, the home is the first school the child attends. So what they see around the home goes a long way. How you relate, how you act with your spouse, your family, those little things, it tells a lot. So I want to put it out. I want to, encourage parents, to take up the teaching of character, structure, and systems in place, so that we can have a well-rounded children. Because I still believe in the philosophy that it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village. I believe that it takes a village to raise a child, and your village right now might not just be the people around you. You must be intentional about the village, the community you build around your children to raise your children. I think I'm going to pause here. There are hands that are raised. I would like to hear them. But before I go on, I have always wanted to tell Mr. Jonathan this. Mr. Jonathan, good morning. I'm one of your fans from from the character room, and I wanted to say this. Your voice, Mr. Jonathan, sounds like someone that should be on radio anchoring either political sessions or politics, discussing Nigerian politics and the likes. Yes. So I wanted to say that, Mr. Jonathan. I think I'm done for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nkechi. That was brilliant. Thanks for sharing your insights. Okay, we are going to take feedback, questions from everyone. So if you have anything to share, please raise your hand and we'll take it one after the other. So Mr. Jonathan, please go ahead, and then Ruth.
So, Nkechi, you are my girl for the day. You are my character room woman for today, character room person for today. And thanks for the acknowledgement and thanks for the encomiums. I want to, I've listened to you very carefully, and one of the things that always I have always emphasized is that we are we, and we are who we are, starting from who we are from the family. I repeat that again. Who we are and what we are, starting from who we are from the family unit. Now, we all know that character reformation or character formation, yesterday I mentioned it and I'm mentioning it again. Character formation and character reformation starts with us as individuals from the family unit. Now, a lot of things that you mentioned this morning that touches my heart. And this is the month of integrity, and we are talking about how else we can contribute to Nigeria as a better society. When my children, even the one that is dead and the one that are alive, were growing up as children, I try to inculcate in them what we call discipline. By the way, I happen to be privileged to work in Shell, an in fact, the foremost multinational oil and gas company in Nigeria. So, as at that time, prior to my retirement, I cannot say that we are uncomfortable to an extent. What am I saying? We are comfortable to an extent, so I can provide the basic needs for their feeding, for their education, for their clothing and all that. But one thing I never did was to give them the impression that I have it all and that they cannot be disciplined. And when they grew up with that mindset. The one Tare that was kidnapped and murdered with the mother, when he got a position to do IT in Shell, the impression is, daddy, why is everybody talking about you in Shell? And why is everybody good in Shell? It is because of the legacy and the principles we put on deck, and we're trying to maintain them. Thank God my pastor is here, Tunde Alelo. It is not about just putting up structures. It's not about maintaining the structures. So Nigeria has a constitution, very well built, written constitution by stages of this country, of age. But today, are we operating the constitution the way to which it is lettered? Unfortunately, the state I came from yesterday, I'm sure you would have heard, the governor and his members of the House of Assembly, they have all decamped. For what reason? So, virtues a lot of times have gone with the winds. When my son was to be made, my first son, by the grace of God, is a medical doctor today. When he was to be made senior prefect, because my wife and the proprietress of the institution have a relationship, and my wife told me, Nengi was going to be made an SPO. I said, please, I'm not interested in that. If he merits it, fine. If he doesn't merit it, leave him alone and let him learn along with the other people. Today, we as parents, Nkechi, you mentioned it clearly. My child must not be the last to come. Oh. My child must not be the last. Oh. My child must not be beaten. Oh. My child must not be this or must not. Today, as I tell you now, the effect of what discipline did to my son as I was retiring. Do you know that my son in America I had to force all my retirement. I had to pay 35 million to pay this boy to undergo surgery because of after effects of discipline in the Nigerian Navy Medical School in Port Harcourt. Discipline. We have failed as parents to discipline our children. Even when the child is doing wrong, we cannot correct them in the home, much less in the institutions where we have sent them to. We have Parent Teachers Association, and the Parent Teachers Association have come to be what I don't know what to call them. Protective. Yes, we need to protect our children. Do we need to overprotect our children? I tell you for free, Nkechi and the rest of us who care to know. Look, in my home, we can give Indomie and everything every morning. But there are times in the morning that I say, look, we are drinking curry this morning. No. Not because I don't have the means to provide for the children. I love the children to the core. In fact, as a matter of fact, my first son resembled my late slain elder brother when he was born. So I cherish him to the highest level. But when it is time for food, everybody must eat whatever is available in the house. When they ask for Indomie, I say, my friend, thank you for asking for Indomie. This morning, everybody is eating beans and curry in the house. And that was the way the children were groomed. I have never, ever gone to the school to solicit for, say, add 1 mark, add 2 marks for my children. And when my first son was going to graduate from Nigerian Navy Medical Center, the guy made a series of A's and B's, and because of the crisis we have with the Naval Authority because of the incident that preceded his final exams, this boy's result was manipulated against my son. Out of the 7 credits and then the 2, the 7 7 A's and the 2 B's that the boy had. Because in his own curriculum, he was supposed to study medicine and everything was going like that. They released the result. The boy was excellent in everything, including chemistry, physics, mathematics, biology, and English. This result was released though. And the next thing I saw was that the boy now has a P in chemistry. I went to the Naval Authority and I was going to take it against them. I told them, look, what is happening? Because immediately they released the first result, I picked it up and I had this thought somewhere. So when they finally came and did all their manipulations, I said, look, Navy commander, me and you will go to court for this thing. He said, hey, it's not me, it's Waeko and all that. And that thing detracted my son, my first son. But I told him, well, it's one of those things. We have to take it up like that. Because they said, no, it's not an official result. So who released this unofficial result that everybody saw? So as parents, as I am now, I'm too old now at over 60. I cannot want to go and encourage corruption at any level. I cannot want to go and encourage any parent to say, but I can tell you for free. There are levels that some of the teachers also go. The assumption that, oh, this teacher is not a good one or is a good one depends on how well we're also conducting ourselves as school administrators. When, Nkechi, you mentioned something. I'm sorry, Flora, I'm taking too much of time. But just give me 1 more minute and I'll round up. 1 more minute, I'll round up. If you pass this exam, you are going to London. If you pass this exam, you are going to America. These things, they make a lot of impressions, especially for children who are growing up. They pass this exam, they are not going to London, they are in Nigeria. They pass this exam, they are not going to America, they are in Nigeria. So we need to also weigh what we say, because they make a lot of impressions on our children, especially at the school. There's a lot of peer pressure, there's a lot of peer influence. If we're not careful what we say, if we're not careful, we'll be seen as people who are not credible, who do not act with integrity. Thank you. God bless you. This is the golden voice from Harcourt, Alabinte Jonathan. Well done.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan, and thank you for sharing from a place of experience with your children. Let's keep the conversation going, and as much as possible, for others to contribute. Let's take 2 to 3 minutes each so that others can contribute. Ruth, go ahead.
I don't think she's still on the call.
Okay, Ruth is not here. Tunde, go ahead.
Thank you, Nkechi, for homeschooling us this morning with your children. Thank you. Thank you. That was quite profound. And thank you, Mr. Jonathan, aka Baba Ibeji, for those experiences you shared. They are words on marble. They cannot be bought in the market. Having said that, my thought on this is the fact that my generation that is blaming the millennia, the what do they call this other one? Gen Zs. Gen Zs. We are actually their problem. We created their problem. There's this saying in this adage in Yoruba that says, when you build a house and you don't build the child you didn't build will mortgage or sell the houses you built. And that is exactly what is happening to us. Now, when you as parents, look at what Nkechi has shared with us today. When your parents are following your children to school to go and vomit nonsense, what kind of a child do you think you're raising? And you see, there is this saying that most of our girls, they are out almost naked. When you see the way some mothers, some women dress, some married women, some old women, you will just wonder what's going on there. So the problem of this generation was handed over to them by their parents. I'd always said it there that we are a combination of nature and nurture. But unfortunately, the combination of what some genetical traits that some children inherited from their parent, coupled with the decadent environment where they grow up, as cooked together to make them who they are. And my perspective is always going to be, all of us on this call this morning that are parents, what roles are we playing in the life of our children? Aren't we also going to school to defend the wrong behaviors of our children? Nkechi said that the first home the children attend, the first school the children attend is their home. My daughter just left the university and she works in my office. And she sent me a message yesterday. I was in the office that somebody invited her to an event that she was going to go there. And meanwhile, I also have a place that I've been invited to come and talk to some secondary school children this morning. And I wanted her to follow me. And she said she was going to her own thing. I said, fine. She now told me that she was going to leave the office at about 12 or 1, that she wanted to go and make her hair. I said, my dear, if you work in another office, yes, if you have a reason to leave the office by 12 or 1, it's good enough. But that you want to leave the office to go and make your hair because of an event is a very frivolous reason to leave the office. Later, I felt that I was a bit hard on her. But I told myself I've done the right thing. Yes, she works in my office and I trust her. A carpenter cannot attempt to remove a nail with her teeth. So we need to discipline our children. Discipline does not kill. And we need to be disciplining ourselves before we talk about disciplining our children. Because if parents have the right mentality, you will not go out and be speaking nonsense and you think you're defending your children. And that is the reason we see what is happening out. But if we can, change our ways, if we could look at ourselves, reorient ourselves and correct ourselves, then we'll realize that we'll have a better society. Let me stop here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Lots of things coming up. We have a lot of work to do. I don't even know where to start, but let's keep going. Ruth, are you back? Or do we go to Emmanuel?
Yes, I'm back. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I admire Madam Nkechi so much. Like, at least I now hear somebody speaking up for the boy child. Over the years, I've always been wondering, why are there no boy child intervention? Even yesterday, last year, I remember putting up a post that there are always intervention for widows, but I've not heard of any intervention for widowers. And that was because I started studying my dad after my mom died. We buried her last year. She died in December 2023. My dad, became another person entirely. And they said men are stronger and they can bottle up emotions. I said, but they don't need to bottle up emotions. I often hear my husband talk to my children, the first 2 boys, hey, I want you to be a man. I said, if we start training these children to become a man, when they grow up, what will they now become? Let boys be boys and men be men. We need to let them know that they are humans. They have blood, and they have blood flowing in their veins. They have the right to express themselves. Let them cry when they are hot. Yes, I'm coming. Let them cry when they are hot, and let them be able to share their feelings, express their feelings, not bottling everything up. And if they are dying in the inside, men carry a lot of burden, you know. So I became so excited when I heard that you are a female voice speaking up for the male child. That's a how do I put it? That's a big ministry. And truth be told, there are no international recognition, and I began to wonder why. A lot of, yes, women do go through a lot. We need to be, you know, celebrated. But how about the men? You know, that's number one. Number two, I also became so excited when I hear you talking about homeschooling your children. And I just got to know we have a lot of things in common. For me, I homeschool my children till the age of 3, right? And I've had a lot of backlashing from women. Why will you not put your child? Even my last baby, who is a year and 6 months. You know, when I'm going out with her, people say, you never start school. I said, I don't understand. Start school at what age? A year and 6 months. Even in the UK, you don't bring a child or send a child of that age to the crèche. Schooling starts at age 3. And what would a child of a year and 6 months be doing in school? How would that person express herself or himself? And I begin to teach these women that no, what would you be doing except you're busy? Even if you're busy, you can get somebody to help you with that child at home while you go out, not taking that child to the school at that age. That child cannot express herself. That child cannot even say what, we can't do things. You are just stressing the children. I remember when I first enrolled my first son at age 3 and a few months. This teacher was also saying, Madam, thank you. You helped me reduce my work. He doesn't wear pampers to school. He knows how to handle his cutleries, his food. He eats himself. He knows the road to the toilet. They just made him the class captain 3 days after he resumed school. Why? Because he understands what he ought to do. And they said he knows how to, you know, how to guide and lead other people. This is because I have started teaching him all of those things from the house. You don't do this, you do this. And my husband too has also helped. You know, my first son can sweep, he's just 5 years. If they finish eating, he'll take the plates to the kitchen and sweep that place. He knows how to make the bed. If the other day I tried making the bed, he said, Mommy, this thing, he was using his hand to explain how greases are still on the bed. Mommy, you cannot do this thing very well. He scattered it and did it. A boy of 5 years. And we think we need to wait for them till maybe he said they don't know anything. I don't bait with from whether they are still babies, I don't bait with my boy child. I never bait with them. I never undressed in front of them. When I'm dressing, everybody, excuse me. They understand that. You say, okay, because he's 3 years, he doesn't know anything. Who says that? And truth be told, we have a bulk of work to do. But we pretend that these things don't matter. These things don't matter. These things don't matter. You are making out with your husband, and you say they are sleeping. Hello. These children are smarter than we think. Very, very smart. Very, 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 very smart. My son, if he comes back and he's saying something, I know when he's saying the right thing and when he's trying to make up gigantic stories to make the story sweet. I say, you don't do. He say, mommy. I say, you don't do. Don't go and say what is not. So you cannot come home and tell me, my child did this, and I was trying to side him. I know what my children are capable of doing. If you ask the first two children who did this, the first one will want to cover. Later you say, should I say that? I said, why will you not say the truth? You say, will you beat me? I said, if you say the truth, I may, or if it's left for me to beat you, say, I will not say it. I said, better say it. That guy, he engages me with a lot. Sometimes I begin to wonder. He engages me with debates. Why should I? Why should I not? Who did this? He said, should I say the truth? I said, say the truth. So I know each of their capabilities. I know who can say what is exactly as you want it. The second one will tell you without blinking an eye. That one is very bold. But the first one, he's scared. You want to say, okay, I'm not the one, but later you say, I am. So you already know these children. You know their weaknesses. There's no need of trying to mix it what. I remember when I was still a teacher, one woman came, my son is not very, I want you to put an eye. I said, no, I'm not a magician. I am a teacher. Neither am I a carpenter that will open your child's brain and put mathematics there. I'm working on every child as I can. He said, I want you to pay special attention. I said, I was waiting now. I don't have that time. You have the bulk of the work to do at home. I do my job as a teacher as I ought to. So there are no special treatments, except on open days when teachers, parents come and appreciate teachers. But you can't be during the day and you are giving. They know me, and that's why I had to leave the teaching sector, because the things they do there, they pinch my body. My child is, and the director will come and be shouting and say, "Hello, sir. Do you even value your teachers?" They say the parents are the people paying money. We need to do that. I have to stop teaching and face business, because there are things I can't stomach. Even so in my children's school, the parents, they are always asking me, why am I not frequenting this school? Because I don't want you to start seeing me and say, okay, I want you to pay attention to my child. No, I do my work at home. I can only call you and say, how is my child doing? Well done, I appreciate you. I put it on the school platform, and that is that. Thank you. Let's not don't take the whole of today. Thank you. Well done, Madam Nkechi. I don't see my bestie for character room. Well done, ma.
Thank you so much for sharing. A lot's going on here, but let's keep going. Thanks, Ruth. Emmanuel, go ahead then, Vivian.
Okay, good morning, character champion. Madam Nkechi, you were just bringing out a lot of things that has always been in my mind. And first of all is the advocacy for the boy child. I've always been passionate about the boy child, and just like you said, there is no so much going around to help the boy child become the men they ought to be and all that. It's all about the female empowerment and all that. And in fact, statistics is showing that if care is not taken in the next, give us the next 20 to 50 years, that female is likely to dominate every field of professional practice and even in learning, because the advocacy is just on female, and you find out that it's also going a lot of way to affect the home, where most females are now becoming breadwinners and all that, but nothing is being done to help the male child. The male child is just like, he will figure out himself. He will figure out his life, and allow him, he will figure out himself and all that. And that is something that needs to be talked about. We need more advocates like you. And secondly is on homeschooling. Homeschooling children is not for the faint-hearted, and for you to say you are doing this is something I just give kudos to you, Swally, because it's not just for it's not just for anybody. You have to be intentional. The intentionality associated with it is no child's play. And well done. Then I'm going to share a little bit of experience as a teacher and educator, and having been in the classroom, the former classroom, before I left. So just like you said, whatever issue of integrity the society have or we have in the school place is a result of parenting. I'm going to start with my family first. I have our last born is just 11 going to 12, I know my parents gave birth to her when I was doing my NYC and all that. And so when she was last year, she joined me here. She came staying with me, and we're talking about school and all that. And I spoke with her on the phone. I tried to find out what her reasoning capacity and all that. She was in just one then, and she's supposed to come here, join me in just two. And after speaking with her, I told my sister staying with me that my dad, that if she's coming here, she's definitely going to be in JSS1. She have to repeat that class. I don't see her. She doesn't have the maturity. She's underage, and she's not supposed to be going to JSS2. These were my recommendation. My dad was like, no, she should be in JSS2. My sister was just like, wish it would make her feel bad. And I said, no, she just have to earn the right of being in a particular class and show workings that she's supposed to be in this class. And when she came, I started, because I'm an educator, I know virtually all the schools around me. I could understand, okay, this is the school my sister is supposed to go to. And I told them, okay, even when she came, so my sister, my mom, they went about looking for school. I already told them, go to this school. This is the school I think would be appropriate and order for her development and all that. And when she went to the school, she went to write the entrance exam for JSS2. Before she went, I did what I can for her, put her through and all that, so that everybody was, so that she'll be in JSS2. But with Dimi, I know that she's supposed to be in JSS1. So when she wrote the entrance exam and the result came out, they told her that they can't admit her into JSS2. And that was one of the reasons why I chose that school, because they will not try to sugarcoat it or try to say, oh, because they are the one paying the money, we can put her whatever you say goes and all that. So they asked her that she will be in JSS1. And if she doesn't do well, that they will have no choice but to tell her to go. That was the standard of the school. In fact, it is that school is the school I've seen in the 21st century that is expelling students in secondary school for misconduct that are not applicable to, that does not align with the school. And she has done JSS1. In fact, this JSS1, she's coming back, and she came back with lots of recommendation and award, and the class teacher was just like, the improvement is tremendous. Now, we were doing our own part at home, and the school was also doing their own part. It's important to do your own part at home as parents, no matter the school you are sending your child to. If you are not going to do your own part at home, everything the school will be doing is rubbish. And there's something I also do. My sister will come back. With report. This happened. This, and my immediate younger sister will say, we need to talk to the school and all that. Sometimes I'll say no. I don't want to give her the impression that whatever happened, that we just I need to go to the school and report and find out what is happening. She should be able to be accountable and put herself in order to present herself, to represent herself, to say, okay, this is this, this is that. So most of the time she will say, we need to do this, and I say, I will not do it, I will not come, I will not. But because I want her to know that she shouldn't just be running home to be reporting things that are not. So that is one of them. Then I want to, before I stop teaching in the regular school, the formal classroom and all that, there was this school I was teaching, and this case of integrity, morality in the school has a lot to do with parents. I was the class teacher of a particular class. In that class, I had lesbians. In that class, I had gay. And where did these children get this from? In fact, one of the lesbians brought this Kayamata book. This Kayamata book that taught about sexuality and every different position to have sex and all that, brought it to school. And they asked this, and we asked this child, where did you get this from? He said, I collected it from my mom. She's a lesbian. In fact, she's a lesbian. She had her lesbian partner in the school, in the same class. And this her lesbian partner said, when I grow up, I want to be a porn star. This was what we as teachers were battling with, trying to talk these children out of things they've already conceived from the home. And in fact, one of the events that that nearly got us into trouble was, we are having a cultural day in the school, and every child was in the hall where the event was going on. But then, as a class teacher, I noticed that some of my students was not around. I got up, went around, and I started asking questions. Where is this person and where is this person? He said upstairs. Because I knew the kind of student I had in my class, the school is 3-story building. I didn't know when I flew 3-story building to go and look for the children. And I went upstairs. I didn't see anybody. I came down again. I asked, where are these children? They told me upstairs. I flew again, and lo and behold, I got them in a very enclosed class. And these children were pants down, about to have sex. And I didn't know what would have happened. It was if God has not brought me in at that time. And later we got to find out that the female in question was seeing her period at that time. So imagine it would have been pregnancy. And this was one of the most intelligent students I had in class. It would have been pregnancy and all that. And when I decided, I did a study about these children that had these delinquencies and all these issues. They were children that were coming from one parent home. Daddy is abroad, mommy is in Nigeria doing what she likes, or mommy is abroad and daddy is in Nigeria. There is no family cohesion. There's no unity in the family. There's one problem or the other. So the family is the first home of the child, is the center for building integrity. It's the center for building integrity. And if the family does not get it right, the society cannot get it right. So it's important we are discussing this as in this room and in this place. So parents, we just have to watch out. Whether you have grown up, whether you have little ones, you cannot resign from your parenthood, even when your children has grown up. What are they doing to make money, even when they grow up and they are working further for themselves? What are they doing to make money? Where are they living? Who are their friends? You can't say, oh, they are now men, they are now women, they have the right to this thing. But you have to always, at every time, hold them questionable, accountable for their actions. I did something with my little sister. I used to take her in mass and during the week and all that. After she come back from school, I'll find time and take her in mass. Of recent, she started withdrawing. She didn't want to attend the math class. And I told her, okay, you don't want to attend the math. She doesn't love math. But I told her, I don't expect you to be a mathematician like me, but you must definitely, you have to pass math. You have to pass mathematics and be at least an average student in mathematics. So what I told her that since you don't want me to teach you mathematics, there are consequences. I will not nudge you to come and learn. But then if you come back with a bad result in mathematics, there are consequences. That was how I left it. Then I haven't been around for like 2 weeks. And when I got back yesterday, the first thing she told me was, please, can you come and teach me maths? When do we start our math studies? Let your children know that for every action there is consequence, no matter how small they are. Don't say, oh, they are small children and you don't just have to be tough on them. Let there be consequences. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lots of interesting conversation this morning. We'll continue next week, but we'll have Vivian. I think Vivian is the only one here to speak. Vivian, go ahead, and then we'll round up with Vivian. We still have Nkechi for our final words because she needs to respond to some of the things that has come up. But we'll continue this same conversation tomorrow. Let's think through. It's not just bringing out some of these things, is what can we do and what are we doing to help in this situation? Going forward, where do we begin? All right, Vivian, go ahead.
Okay, good morning, Character Champions. How are you today? I don't know, when it comes to this school thing, it freaks me. Because I've been there, you know. It's too bad that parents are not helping in a way. Everybody expects the school to do magic and to do everything, but that's not possible. Like Mr. Kechi said, I mean, the home is the first point of call. The home the child's first school. It's when that child is small, you start instilling discipline and other things into that child. You see some children, 2 years, 3 years, they throw tantrums. It's because you as a parent started permitting it when that child was little. A child is doing something wrong, you're not correcting. You are saying, hey, leave him, not small picking. It's a small child. The child is using abusive words, 2 years, 3 years. You are saying leave him, not small picking, leave him. When do you intend to correct this child? When do you intend to correct this child? There was a case of a child in my class, right? He had an elder sister in JS2 or so. I heard their mother is a trouble woman because my school said they should not flog children. And I had an issue with that because if you're saying that, you should say to the parents, not to the children. It makes the children behave anyhow because they believe that you can't do anything to them, right? So I heard the sister in JSS2, ordinary JS2, was talking rudely to a married woman who is a teacher. And today the girl was like, how you can't do me anything. When you actually pointing to the teacher in the face, you can't do me nothing. And the teacher just looked at her and walked away. Just say kneel down. And that kneel down said before they knew that because you're not allowed to use K. So she had a brother in primary 5 then, and me, I was in A, the boy was in B. So terrible that the man in B was too cold. Children were climbing on top of me. So they now brought this boy to my class. Because according to them, the boy is disrespecting the man and he's not doing it. So the first day he entered my class, I first of all gave him orientation. I brought him in front of the class and I asked my children, in this class, do we misbehave? They said no. In this class, do we discipline? They said yes. In this class, do we obey? They said yes. In this class, is our assignment done? They said, I said, okay, I'm just giving you orientation. Because I don't care whoever is with you at home. If you disrespecting your parents at home, you won't disrespect me. The first day the guy misbehaved, I beat him. I beat him and I sent him out of my class to go and kneel down outside. I said, tomorrow let your mother come. I'm ready. Because if she cannot discipline you at home, they should not bring you to my class. Funny enough, I mean, the woman let her turn out to be friends. Okay, I think I didn't say the mother because I was that the next day, me, I was fully prepared for whatever would come out, And there was another morning, maybe he couldn't just go and tell his mother, because children know when you mean business. Right, and I was doing everything. It was in front of the whole class. So the class, I like my children because they will speak. So I was just waiting for her. She didn't turn up. Another day I was coming to work. I met her on the road. I was greeted. I already prepared my mind. Say, let this woman just talk first. But she didn't say anything. She said, you're doing well. I said, okay, glory to God. So, and it kept the boy in check. What am I saying? The home and the school have to work in sync. It's too bad that parents these days, they're not even encouraging their children to read. I remember when my children were preparing for common entrance, the morning they were to go, because I didn't go with them, I just came to pray with them that morning. The parents was like, Hope we help them, Miss Vivian. Maybe we should help them, or they should not fail. Oh. I looked at the woman, I knew her daughter. Her daughter was in my class. The girl, anyway, they said that somebody should not use for a student, but when it comes to social media, TikTok, and dancing up and down, yeah, that one is what latest shoes and all. But academically, the girl was just not motivated, no matter how you do. And in her mother's mind now, the best thing we can do is to help her, to let her pass and push her to the next class. It's only good that we help us do. I just hope that parents will just get more involved because these days it seems everybody's looking for money. Nobody has time anymore. And even when you try to correct as a society, they take offense. It is well low. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much for sharing. I've been thinking about a lot since we started this conversation, but we'll share about all that tomorrow. So, Nkechi, do you want to share your keywords, final words, and then maybe respond to a few things that has been shared before we call it?
Yes.
Mommy. Mommy.
Yeah. Yes.
Mommy.
I'm talking.
Mama, take it off.
No, I'm not taking it off. Okay. I've listened to what everyone has shared, and interesting takes, and very, very, some actually corroborating my experiences in the education sector. But I think that as much as one thing that is standing out for me is, a lot of persons know that systems work, structure works, but there's one thing in having a structure. Another thing is putting the structure in, like following through with the structure, like practicing it. So beyond using our words, using our mouths, let's leave the structure, let's put it into practice. Whatever little thing we can do for any other person out there, I don't walk by children. I think that's when I'm a teacher. I can't walk by a child. Either a child is trying to cross, a child is trying to, whatever it is, as long as it's a child, I just get into that mode where the child needs help and I just need to do whatever. I don't even care who's, it's default for me here. So I think whatever it is we can do for any child, I don't even need to know you as a child. Whatever it is we can do, let's do for the betterment of the child. I know that we're in questionable times. Social media is a lot. I did a video recently where we actually have to watch what we consume on the internet, because it affects your principles, your values. It also questions it. But first of all, you must also have your own goal. You must have your own place. You must have your own principles, your own. You must be first settled with yourself, before you go and take on either more ideas from someone, more knowledge, whatever it is you want to add. But first of all, you must, know you, find out what works for you, do what's best for you. I'm saying it with respect to aspirants nurturing children. So let's do what we can for the child. And I've seen all of the people commending me for homeschooling. Trust me, if you ask me, I will never tell you homeschooling is easy. It's stretching me beyond my capacity, but I think I like the stretch. It's also helping me to discover me. Yeah, so I think I like that part I like that part of me. And Mr. Tunde, I think I look forward to what we have to do. What you talked about. So thank you everyone for sharing your insights, your experiences. It was an honor being here today, and I enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much, Nkechi. And thanks everyone for your contributions. We'll continue this thing and then link it in another way tomorrow. Please, let's come early. And tomorrow is Friday, so we will discuss and then have weekend to reflect around all our weekly discussions. There's so much work for us to do, so much, and I pray that we have the energy to actually do the work. The thing I see these days, maybe the universe has a reason of making me teach this undergraduate this period, but the thing I see, God will help us. I wish us goodness. Let's enjoy our day and be fruitful. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same station. Bye, everyone.